guys, so today I have a really exciting video. I'm going to do another products I regret buying video. So the last one I did was almost a full year ago. It was when I lived in the dorms, which was definitely last year, so probably longer than a year ago, and the one before that was probably a year before that. So I was watching Tati here on YouTube. She's one of my favorite beauty gurus ever to watch. I just love her so much, and she did her worst products of 2016 roundup, and I was just like inspired. I was like, there's a lot of things in my collection that I do not like right now, and I should probably tell you guys all about them. So I figured it's about time. It's a new year, out with the old, in with the new. Let's talk about some stuff that I did not like. Of course, the disclaimer is these aren't bad brands. Pretty much every single brand that I'm going to talk about, I have tried other things from them that I use frequently and love, so just take it with a grain of salt. If you hate products I regret buying, disappointing products videos, maybe don't watch this, or just take it with a grain of salt. I'll let you decide. But anyways, oh, and I know I will get questions about this. This look that I'm wearing right now was inspired by... I couldn't find her name. She was just like posted on one of those, like, you know, those like beauty meme pages, like Slave to Beauty and stuff like that. Okay, I hope you guys can see because my camera won't autofocus. Well, my camera, I can't figure out how to focus on this thing. But it was inspired by a girl on Instagram. I posted her on my Snapchat too. I'll try to find her. But anyways, it was inspired by her. If you want to see my rendition of this look in a tutorial, let me know. But I just figured I'd try it out first and then see if you guys want a tutorial. So that's all out of the way. But anyways, let's get on to some products I regret buying. Yay! So, okay, I have a lot of face products, so let's start with those first. So the first product I actually didn't buy, a friend gave it to me, but I have gotten so many samples of this foundation, and I have tried to love this foundation, and it is the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation. This, like, my friend had it, and it was too light for her, and she's like, hey, I have the lightest shade of the Kat Von D foundation, do you want it? I was like, hell yeah, but this is just a cake. This is cake mix in a bottle. It is just so cakey, and I mean, everybody says that it's like an amazing full coverage foundation for oily skin. It is full coverage. It is full on coverage, but it's just way too thick and cakey and emphasizes every single little pore and bump, and I just can't do it. The only reason I keep this is because it's super lightweight, or it's not light, it's super light in color, and it has full coverage, so I use this a lot of the time when I'm doing goth looks or when I'm doing Halloween looks. So that's pretty much the only reason why I have kept this and why I have used it as much as I have, is because I use it for those purposes, but I have pretty much never worn this like out besides the few times that I tried my right color in this foundation. I'm just not a big fan of it at all. I know a lot of people swear by it. Ooh, that's the other thing. If you love like some of these products that I'm talking about, comment down below and tell me nicely, tell me what your skin type is and tell me why you like that product. So that way we can kind of get more opinions, and maybe somebody, you know, reads through the comments and sees like, oh, well, I have, because, you know, I have combo skin. Maybe somebody with dry skin might like some of these other products. I don't think you'd like this one if you have dry skin. I think it would cling to dry skin like a beast. But anyways, yeah, this I've just had in my collection. I don't think I've talked about it in a previous one, so excuse me if I go over a couple of these things. I think a couple of these things I have mentioned in like favorites and misses videos, but I wanted to just compile all of my relatively new items that I haven't talked about in my other products I regret buying, so that way they're just all in one place. You know what I mean? Okay, let's move on. Next is another foundation, and this is the Fiona Stiles Matte Finish Foundation Concentrate. I was super excited when Fiona Stiles came into Ulta because they're a relatively affordable prestige brand. I think this foundation was only like $30, which is pretty dang middle of the road when it comes to price high end to low end. I just I just don't like it. I've tried it so many times and it's just sitting in my drawer, and when I opened my drawer I was like, you know what, I need to talk about this because I don't think it's anything special. If this was like a $10 foundation, I would maybe buy it again, but I have to build it up so much. It's really, really watery. It has okay coverage, but just there's nothing about it that just like wows me. It also doesn't keep me matte throughout the day, so I don't know. It's not like the most expensive thing. The Kat Von D foundation is more expensive, but I just don't think this is even worth how kind of affordable it is, even though it's not affordable, but you know what I mean. I just don't think it's worth it. Tati swears by both of the foundations, so again, this is probably something that somebody else might like, but for me, it just wasn't anything that I was stoked about, and it has sat in my drawers almost completely full, so ooh. I have another foundation. You guys know that foundation is like my thing. I love foundation. It's my favorite thing to try. It's my favorite thing to buy. It's also some of the most expensive stuff to buy. But foundation is just my thing. I love it so much, so I try a lot of it. The next, I decided to splurge and hashtag treat myself to the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation, and boy was this a dud. I have a full video like doing a full-on review of this, and I didn't give it that good of a review, so if you've been watching my videos since then, this should come as no surprise. But this says it was supposed to be like full coverage and like blur your skin and last all day and be really comfortable. It was comfortable and it did build really nicely, but I had to build it a lot to get to a medium to full coverage. It didn't keep me matte through the day. It just kind of sat on top of my skin, and this I think was $50, $50 or $55, around there. It was expensive. And I just didn't like it. I had such high hopes for it. The packaging is beautiful. Charlotte Tilbury is one of the only like really high-end brands that is cruelty free, so I'm still gonna try her products because I've heard amazing things about almost all of them, except for this. This one was, I feel like, a dud kind of across the board. I haven't really heard too many people like rave about this foundation. So anyways, it was really expensive and I just didn't like it, and I had a lot higher expectations for something of this price point and of this caliber in makeup. Okay, next, this is the Jordanna Complete Cover Maximum Coverage 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. When I saw this, I got this when I was in LA with Jess. I think she picked it up too, and I think she liked it. Jess, you're gonna need to tell us if you liked it, but I think she said she liked it. But I was really interested in this one because Jordanna and Milani are owned by the same company, and you know Milani came out with this foundation, the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer. They have almost the exact same name, and Jess even looked at the ingredients and she said the ingredients are almost the same, so I was like, is this gonna be a dupe that's half the price because this was $5? Ooh, like, I thought Kat Von D was a cake factory. This is like, oh my god, this is just so cakey and patchy, and like, just spend $5 more and get the Milani foundation. This was $5, but that one's $10. Just spend the extra $5. Don't bother. Don't bother. Unless of course you're like Jess and she likes it, then maybe bother, but I didn't like it at all. Okay, and then my next two items I've actually talked about in a favorites video, but I liked it then and I'm still a little bit torn, but I just can't get these products to work for me, so I'm gonna have to toss them in there. And they are the Soap and Glory One Heck of a Blot All Day Liquid to Powder Foundation and Primer. So why I'm putting these both in there is because I can't figure out which one I can't get to work. I've tried them both. Well, okay, let's start with the foundation. The foundation is nice. It's a really good coverage. It really does make you look poreless, but it does not keep you matte. At least in my opinion, it did not keep me matte. And every single time I wear this foundation, my powders on top go so patchy because it's a liquid to powder foundation, and it like liquefies to powderifies so quickly that I literally have to work like in sections, like do this part and then do my nose and then this part, and like I have to work in sections. I have to work so quickly to get this foundation to work, and even then it still goes super patchy. And that's the same with this. If I put this, you know, you put it on your fingers and you spread it around, but like if I spread it too far, it will make my foundation and my powder on top of that patchy. So it's just like both of these items make my foundation on top and my other products on top go patchy, even though they do still, like, this keeps me matte okay, but I still think primers are a placebo effect. I have yet to find a primer that is like, wow, this is amazing. So maybe leave me some suggestions for mattifying primers or something. But this does like fill in your pores and make you look nice and smooth, but I just can't get past the patchiness and I just can't get it to work, and I'm sick of ruining my makeup trying. So whoops. Okay, this is pretty much along the exact same lines. This is the Becca Ever Matte Poreless Priming Perfector. Again, I think I've talked about this in a favorites video too, but it's the exact same thing where I like it, but I really, really like how it performs. It really does keep you matte, and it's really poreless. Like, this works a lot better than this one, and they do pretty much the exact same thing, but this makes things patchy on top of it, and this is really, you have to like smooth out the edges so precisely that like if you don't, it will go patchy. So like this stuff is really weird in that it's a really kind of thick gel, and then you put it on your face and you can feel it kind of tightening up. It's really weird and kind of like tightening and drying down onto your skin, and if you spread it too thin or if you just don't spread it right, when you put your foundation on top, you can see the like line of demarcation of where your primer is and then isn't, like that little line of like where it stopped blending. It's really weird, so I'm really glad I only bought the sample size. I know Jess bought this because of me, so I'm sorry, girl. I hope you're able to make it work, and if you're able to make it work, let us know how you do it, because that shit's expensive, and I can't get it to work, even though I love how it does work, you know, like it does mattify, and it does like blur pores. But the patchiness though, I can't with the patchiness. Whew. Okay, and then next, this is the Milani Prime Shield Face Primer, mattifying and pore minimizing. This is relatively new, and I used this for a really long time, and I thought that I liked it, but like the more that I used it, the more I was just like, it doesn't really work that well. I was just kind of using it to like get myself into using primers, but I honestly think this broke me out and I stopped using it. So I mean, I do not have sensitive skin. I could put cement on my skin and it'd be red for 2 seconds and then be like, bitch, I'm fine. So for something to break me out is kind of concerning, because like I said, my skin can handle a lot of makeup and a lot of product before it starts being like, all right, bitch, calm down. So it's $10. I mean, maybe give it a try. I have heard relatively good things, but this was just not something that like I really loved or thought was worth it. It didn't really, feels nice on the skin, but it didn't really minimize my pores. The Soap and Glory one did a lot better. This one doesn't really minimize pores, and I don't find it that mattifying either, and I think it broke me out. So I'm just gonna not with that one. Okay, next is this Catrice All Around Concealer. It's one of these little concealer palette things, and I just wanted to try some things from Catrice. You guys know I love the other Catrice concealer. This is the Full Coverage Camouflage Concealer. I have 3 colors. I've used it in tutorials for months. I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to try some new things from Catrice, and this was when color correcting was like, everybody and their dog was color correcting, so I figured I'd try it, and it's just not very good. I have tried like these shades on blemishes. There's just not much pigmentation. The only like kind of good thing I do like about this palette is the green shade, because I don't like greens that are crazy pigmented, because then it just kind of looks like weird and ashy on your skin. This is nice and not that pigmented, so it takes away the intense redness from your skin without adding an intense green back to it. So that's the one that I like, but like, I guess it is affordable, but I would just pick up a green concealer from someplace else, because the rest of these aren't that good. I mean, it's just not something I would pick up, to be honest. It's not like horrible, but it just doesn't work well, and I just wish I wouldn't have bought it. Okay, next is something that's really new to the drugstore. I picked this up like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I posted it on my Snapchat. This is the Physicians Formula Insta Ready Full Coverage Concealer, and I honestly have only heard bad things about Physicians Formula, like face products in general, like foundations and concealers, not like powders, because obviously the powders are bomb, but about like liquid products by them, I haven't heard the best things. But this one, the most, like, the things that I hear the most is that they have no coverage and they're really like slick and kind of greasy, but this one was like full coverage and it looks almost identical to the packaging of MAC Pro Longwear, so I was like, is this gonna be my cruelty-free MAC Pro Longwear dupe? And it's not. It is so cakey. It does have really good coverage, so I might hang on to this for like, I don't know, Halloween? Intense smoking? No, I'm probably not gonna hold on to this. This is just, it's so thick and so ugh. If you guys have tried the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye or the Come Correct Wet n Wild Celebrity Concealer, it's like that, but a worse version. It's really thick and high in coverage, but it's also really greasy, and this is like, I don't have a big problem with things creasing on my under eyes. I don't have a ton of under eye like wrinkles, but this one showed me all of the under eye wrinkles that I do have, and it took a lot of powder to set it down to a matte finish because it's so thick. So it was like 14 bucks too, so it was pretty expensive. I would honestly like recommend picking up the NYX HD concealer. It's a great full coverage concealer, or the Wet n Wild Come Correct Celebrity Concealer as well. Okay, I have a random brush. This Wet n Wild fan brush is just terrible. Look how thin it is. Like, it's not fluffy at all. It's literally like razor point thin, so it literally just applies a strip, like the tiniest, like just the tiniest little like G-string sized strip of highlight on your cheek. Even when you like press it to the side, it just doesn't disperse it well. It's like 99 cents, but just skip it. Get any of the other ones, literally any of the other Wet n Wild brushes. They're bomb. I have so many of them back here, like, woo, I have so many of them that I love, but the fan brush, just don't. If you guys have a good affordable like highlighting fan brush, let me know though. Okay, we have a couple lip products. So these items I have talked about. I think it was like in a favorites and regrets, but I think it was like last year, so I'm just gonna reiterate. I really don't like the NYX lingerie lippies. I love the idea of them, like lip lingerie, like I'm all about that. I love the color selection, but these are my least favorite like drugstore liquid lipstick of all the ones that I've tried. I just find them, they're like oddly moussey, and the moussiness kind of makes it patchy, and then they dry down and they shrivel. They're so drying, and I can handle drying liquid lipsticks, but like this one, since you have to layer it and then it dries so much, it just feels icky on my lips. I just really don't like it. And again, I could wear cement on my lips, and these just, they just don't jive with me. I really don't like them. I have used them a couple times in tutorials because I can handle them for a short amount of time, like, you know, the time it takes me to film and film and like take a picture for the thumbnail for a video, but I just don't like these. And a lot of people do, but I just can't get them to work. I just don't think they're that good. I would highly recommend Colourpop or Milani. Milani's liquid lipsticks are great. Or even the new Wet n Wild ones. There's some amazing liquid lipsticks at the drugstore right now, and I would just go for one of those instead of these. Next, I also think I've talked about, but I'm just gonna touch on it again. This is pretty much one of my only Colourpop regrets, and it makes me so sad because this is one of my favorite lip colors ever. This is Littlestitious from Colourpop. It's their Ultra Satin Lip. It's a beautiful, just like baby nude pink. It's like the color of this sweater in a nude form. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I'm so picky with pinky toned nudes because if they're too pink, I won't like them, and if they're too like bubblegum or like whatever. But this is just the perfect like mauve-y baby pink nude, but it crusts so disgustingly around my mouth. I've even tried like putting on a decent amount around the outside of my lip and then just tapping it towards the inside of my lip so that, you know, it doesn't cake around there, but everything I do, it just cakes around my mouth and looks terrible because it's a light nude, so it just looks like you just have light colored shit on your mouth. It looks like you put on chapstick and then bit into a pink powdered donut. You know what I mean? It's just not cute, and it makes me so sad because I love this color so much, and a lot of people do, but does anybody else have that problem? Who doesn't have that problem? And tell me what you're doing with your lips, because I want to wear this color, but every time I do, it just looks terrible. It makes me sad. Okay, hang in there. We only got a couple products left. Now, okay, wait. I have another Colourpop regret, and this is so weird. This is really weird. This is the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Mr. Bing. This is Kathleen Light's collaboration. I love Kathleen Lights. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and it's a freaking Friends Chandler named Colourpop pencil, and I was so excited, but this is just not good. It's not pigmented. It like skips when it blends, and like I guess the swatch looks okay, but like I tried to put this on my waterline and it just didn't show up. I had to like keep going back and forth, and then when I tried to blend it on my lower lash line, it like skipped. I feel like I got a bad one because I don't think Kathleen Lights would put out a bad product. I trust her enough to not put out a bad product. So let me know if you have this and you like it, and if maybe I should just order a new one and try that, because this was the worst Colourpop eyeliner I've tried. All the other ones are fantastic. So this one just might have been, again, a bad batch, maybe a bad, like something went wrong in this color formula. I don't know, but it made me really sad because it's a freaking Kathleen Lights Friends brown eyeliner, and I really wanted it. Next is from Makeup Geek. You guys know I love Makeup Geek. I love Marlena. I love everything about it. You guys know that. But these were not my favorite, and like probably my least favorite item from Makeup Geek. So they are their full spectrum eyeliner pencils. These are creamy. They are pigmented. They are good for what Marlena says they are, but they just don't make sense to me. And here's why. So they're a pencil, but she says they're best for smudging and for eyeshadow like bases, like for smudging out and like because they're really creamy. But don't you think of an eyeliner pencil as like something you put on your waterline and like do lines of eyeliner with? That's kind of how I see it, and these don't last on your waterline and like at all. They go on pretty okay on your waterline. Again, I've used them for like tutorials for like this beautiful purple shade I've used in tutorials because again, they are really creamy and pigmented. Like look at that. They're really pretty, but I just don't like them because I don't think they last very long, and I just wish they would have been a little bit more budge proof. And I did watch like her video, and she said that like they're better for like smudging, and they're better for like other things other than being a long wear pencil. She even said if you're looking for like a long wear eyeliner, try the gel liners, which I love their gel liners more than, oh my god, I love their gel liners. But I was just like, I was expecting these to be like the gel liners in pencil form, and they just weren't. Although they aren't bad if you are into just like soft, smudgy, creamy liners. You might like one of these, but I just don't really like them. I much prefer my NYX retractable eyeliners. These are pigmented, they smudge easily, but then they set down and they just last all day. I love those guys if you're looking for something different. Okay, next is this Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Mascara. I have the shade, what is this? Nothing But Brunette. That's cute. That's punny. That's cute. I don't like this because the wand is pretty huge. Like, that's pretty big. And this is so liquidy and pigmented that it's really, really hard to not just get it everywhere. You have to be so precise, like wipe it off on a tissue and then like be really, really precise with it. And for somebody like me that has pretty thin, sparse eyebrow hairs, like I just need something way more precise, and I just don't like this. But one that I do like that's even cheaper is the Essence Make Me Brow. This is a dupe for the Benefit Give Me Brow, and this just has the tiniest little applicator, and it's just perfect for getting in your brows, and it's just, I love this one so much, but this one I would just skip past. I think it's way too watery and just way too messy, to be honest. Okay, last two products. So this next product I didn't think was gonna be in a products I regret buying video, and I guess I don't like necessarily regret buying it, but I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm not gonna buy it again, and it is the Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Oil Control Makeup Setting Spray. When I saw this, I was like, please let it be a dupe for the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray, because that stuff is holy grail status to me, but I only buy it every once in a while because it is expensive. So I was really hoping that this would be a dupe, and I just realized when I was like going through my makeup, I was like, I use this like every other day or so. I've given this a good try. I mean, it's probably like half gone. This smells terrible and doesn't do anything for my makeup. It doesn't, like, I guess it sets it, but it doesn't make it last any longer. It doesn't like prolong any of the wear. It just doesn't do anything, and I am comparing it to the Urban Decay in my mind. So maybe if you haven't tried the Urban Decay one and you don't want to, or you can't afford it or whatever, maybe give this a try because it may work for you. I don't think it's like terrible. I just don't think it works, especially as an oil control makeup setting spray. Don't think it works that well. Okay, last product. This is the Real Techniques Deep Cleansing Gel. This is a makeup brush and sponge cleaner, and here's what I'll say about this. Just buy bar soap. This was like, I want to say it was like under 10 or around 10, maybe like $8. Maybe it might have been like $12.99. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, yeah, so at Ulta it sells for $8.99, and this just like didn't work really at all. I had to apply so much of this to get my brushes clean, and for $8.99, like, just go buy a little bar of Dr. Bronner's. They're a cruelty-free brand. Just buy Dr. Bronner's bar soap. They have nice scents, and just swirl your makeup brush on the bar of soap, rinse it, and you're good. Or just like take your sponge and just rub it around on the bar of soap, squeeze, and you're good. I just think this was a total waste of money. I wanted to try it because I was like, maybe, because I do have a hard time getting all of my foundation out of my makeup sponges, so I thought maybe, you know, Real Techniques created this specifically to get all that makeup out of my makeup sponges, but it just doesn't. All I will say about this is just buy bar soap. It works so much better. Okay, you guys, that is it for all of the products I regret buying / disappointing products / products I wouldn't recommend / products I wouldn't even pawn off to my enemies. No, I'm just kidding. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, if I trash talked on a product that you really like, let me know in the comments what your skin type is and how you use it, if you use it differently than I do, or what you like about it. So just let us know so we can have all the opinions. But that is it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave. I love you guys so freaking much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!